completely to learn your word. Your word will profit me. Your word will transform me. I am ready to be obedient for your word so that my life will be transformed. Lift up your voice and begin to pray. Let's talk to the Lord. Father, I'm ready for your word. I am ready to obey. Let your word transform me. Let your word mold me. Let your word make me what you want me to be. I want you to talk to the Lord that I desire the understanding of your word. Let your word transform me. Let your word make me. In the name of Jesus. Let your word make me. You are bigger than what people say. Jehovah, you are bigger than what people say. You are bigger than what people say. Jehovah. Bigger than what people say. Oh, what you say. You are good. You are kind. You are bigger than what people. Oh, some say you are. Oh, you are bigger than what people say. You are bigger than what we call you. Oh, Jehovah. Bigger than what people. Oh, you are greater than what we call you. Oh, you are great. You are good. You are kind. You are kind. You are bigger than what people say. Oh, you are great. You are great. You are kind. You are bigger than what we call you. Father, we thank you. We honor you. You are greater than the wisdom of men. You are greater than the strength of men. We ask that you speak to us. Let your word profit us this morning. We are hungry. We are ready to obey. Thank you, Ancient of Days. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Can you say that amen loud and clear? Please, you may take your seat. God bless you. I'll be speaking this morning on a message titled Great Increase. God has given us this mandate in this month of November for great increase. In the first service, we began to look at the fact that God's desire for his children is to profit. The desire of God for his children is to prosper. The desire of God for us is to be rich. Somebody said something, and I believe it, that there are three major harvests that we are going to see in these last days. Number one, the harvest of souls in great and massive number. The harvest of miracles, God confirming his words with signs and wonders following. And I also believe the third one, the harvest in finance, the harvest of money, where God releases great riches to his church. And these three, they go pari passu. Because the desire of God is to increase his people greatly. In Psalm 105 verse 24, Psalm 105 verse 24, he said, and he increased his people greatly and made them stronger than their enemies. God himself did the increase. God himself empowered the children of Israel so that their enemies became smaller compared to them. God himself said by his word that I wish above all things that ye prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospereth. 3 John chapter 1 verse 2. And he said in 2 Corinthians chapter 8 verse 9, 2 Corinthians 8 verse 9, he said, for you know the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, that though he was rich, yet for your sakes he became poor, that ye through his poverty might become rich. So the desire of God and why Christ came is so that you and I can be rich. I'm talking to kingdom-minded people here, Not just people that want to be rich for themselves. People that want to be rich to show self-aggrandizement. I'm talking about people that understand what God meant when he said in his word in Psalm 35 verse 27. Psalm 35 verse 27, he said, let them shout for joy and be glad. They that favor my righteous cause. He said, yea, let them continually say, let the Lord be magnified, which had pleasure in the prosperity of his saints. So you agree with me from the scriptures that God desires the prosperity of his saints. He even said that his kingdom will spread by prosperity. His cities will spread by prosperity. Zechariah chapter 1 verse 17. I want to go deeper in our study today. Things that activate poverty. A lot of times some people are poor. They don't know why they are poor. And I've said the context of our study because you might need to watch or listen to the message in the first service. Some people are poor not just because, maybe I should use this illustration. Some years ago, I was a single man and I was a leader. And we had a discussion. I was the secretary of those that are not married. So they told me to interact with the ladies. And my president interacted with the male. We had the problem that young men and women were not getting married. So we needed to put a discussion through to know what the problem was. We were engaged to marry then. And we had a good number of them that were our friends. And we're burdened. That what is happening? But the ladies told me something I've never forgotten in a hurry. Because some of them were bankers. Some of them were doing well in their profession. They are still around in the land. And we felt, ladies, you have money. Boys, you have money. Then when they came with the boys, or should I say the men, they said, they are proud. They are arrogant. They are this. I don't know why boys always feel women are proud. Is it still happening like that? The men will say, they are not controllable. They are arrogant. They are this. Don't mind me. I'm a realist. Then I spoke to the ladies. Why are you not married? They said the men are poor. Not just mentally, financially. Then I know there was a problem. Because financial poverty is good. God can change situation. But when somebody is poor mentally, even if he's rich financially, he will waste it. So I understood what the ladies were saying. And how did I understand? At that time, I didn't really have a fantastic job. But none of them looked down on me. I discovered that some of them could interact with me at depths. But I was not that financially strong. I remember I had one. She was engaged and she broke her engagement. And we were just talking. So why did you break the engagement? She gave me a lot of reasons why the engagement should not go on. Then I allowed her to finish. And like my jovial self then, I said, can you marry me? She said, yes, I can marry you. And I started pinpointing all the excuses she gave. She just kept saying, you are different. You are different. You are different. You are different. It took me back home thinking, what do these ladies meant when they said, or what do they mean when they said, they are not just financially poor, but they are mentally poor? Then I went to search. What do the men mean when they say they are arrogant, they are arrogant, they are arrogant? Then I had to speak to my friends. A lady that works in the bank, she has a status. By her status, she has a car. And God is leading you to that lady. And you feel because she comes from the car, enters the car, go to a big job, sit on a big chair, she cannot marry, she's proud. No, sir. You might be the one that has inferiority complex. So I have to tell the men. I think sisters will drop me a seed here. I'm coming for you too now. You know I'm balanced. So I suddenly discovered that some men couldn't just stand the women being rich. And brothers, can I speak to you? There are women, if you like, do juju money, they will be richer than you. Because in their prophetic destiny and the wisdom God has given to them, they will always outsmart you. It's not fabricated copy. It's CARICOM. I know of a woman. She's not from this state. But if she stands up in her house now and say, I'm going to get a job, she will get the job. And the husband from this state, very calm. So sometimes the woman has to move the man. And their combination is so fantastic. The man calm, the woman aggressive. And they are doing well. And some people, I know somebody, which one of my ministers know, that is the wife that drives the car. The man will be trekking. Somebody could look at the man and say, are you stupid? How can your wife be driving car? But they don't understand. That some of the cars that the wife is driving is the man that bought it. But the man say, let her be driving this car. Me, I'm ready to trek for my wife's sake. Because the way the wife is built, she's aggressive and a go-getter. But the man is the calm, easygoing. So he knows that he can survive any weather, that the wife will not be able to. And when I see them today, I appreciate what marriage is. The day I feared the man, because the man was very close to me, a loving man, a man I respect. He just looked at the wife one day and said, don't get too familiar with pastor. I don't want to see you people near there again. And one day the wife was by my side. Hello, Daddy said we should not come near you so that we don't disrespect you. I had to call him and say, come. Your family is wonderful. They will never. And that's how much the man honors the grace of God. And I looked at the woman that used to look aggressive. That when the man sits and speak once. The man does not speak anytime. But when he says, now, the wife knows that he has spoken. And that one, principalities and powers, know that it will not change. Man of God, doing fantastically well. Why did I go there? Because I was burdened that these young girls are doing well. Why are they not getting married to these our fantastic anointed brothers? But I suddenly discover that some of our brothers, they are so mentally impoverished. How did I know? You can wear bend down boutique and you are still respected. You can have 2 shirts, 2 trousers, and you are still looking fantastically good. At least Pastor Harry will bear me record. Some of those our guys today, are they not doing well? I used to have a son I have a son in ministry. When I knew him, he used to sell second-hand phone. 1 trouser, 2 trousers, 2 shirts. Today, he has built his house. He has driven cars. But at that time, he had the right mentality. Even though he didn't have money in his pocket. And that's what the sisters meant when they said they were not only financially poor, they were mentally poor. Because a man can wear just 1 cloth and still commands respect. A man might not have money in his or her pocket and is walking among people and is not speaking like somebody that is waiting to be helped. Because he's proud of the little he has. That's why when I see young boys working out to make ends meet, there is dignity in labor, sir. Don't be ashamed of being a driver. That is what is putting food on your table. Be proud about it. Some years ago, when I had to pastor, and everybody was looking at me, I said, with all this book I read, I went to produce my own business card. Somebody looked at me, and then I used to have what we call professional fellowship, where I had lecturers. Some of them are professors today, leaders in industry that were my members. So we have what we call professionals forum. So I told them, I said, I'm also a professional. I'm a professional pastor. So they looked at me. So I go for professional forum. They said, am I I said, look at my business card. So when you see my name, pastor, it's a designation. So they have to understand my mentality quick. So when I visit them in the office and they are not there, I drop my business card. I remember 2 of my daughters, one is married to a politician now in Delta State, and the other works with NECO. When they came for admission, I just took my business card. I just minuted on it. I said, take this business card, give to this doctor, they will give you admission. Bam! They got admission. They came back. Daddy, your card has power. Professional. Mentalities. So I could be a pastor and I'm doing as it was in the beginning, is now, and never shall be, world without end. Amen. No. Because if God calls you for a purpose, every deposit in your life is part of what he wants to use to glorify himself. You don't have to be a theologian. I preached in a place, somebody said, did you study theology? I said, no, I'm a scientist. He said, eh? I said, I am. I don't have to be a theologian to be a pastor. That does not mean I didn't study theology. Are we together this morning? So when the men started saying, the women are proud, I know some women are proud, yes. And some of them are proud over their stupidity, yes. I didn't say you now, I say some women. Because you can win an argument and lose your man. Is that not stupidity? No, let me show him. Let me show. When you finish showing him, and lo and behold, he didn't come back in the night. You still run to pastor. I didn't know what I did. Though. He didn't come back yesterday night. And you are showing him also in the morning. Humble yourself. I didn't come for marriage seminar today. Can I move on now? But why did I go there? There are some habits in our lives that have made us poor. Let me start. Number one, wrong mentality and views about riches. Some people interpret riches based on this cash. That's not riches alone. It's part of it. Wealth is not only the money you have. Some people's wealth is in human capacity. And I can tell you, sir, when your wealth is in human capacity, you last longer. I was talking to a woman one day. I said, Mommy, I love all of you. I said, but do you know that I will last longer than you? She said, what do I mean? I said, you remember your own child, when your child was 10 years old, I was mentoring the young boy. I said, do you know that he will not forget me till... I said, but for you now, after a while, you will forget me. Children don't forget those that impact their lives. Young people don't forget those that have deposits in their lives. So when your mentality about riches or the word or the mentality about having money, having great wealth is wrong, the end result will be wrong. Friends, it is not everybody that drives big jeep or that built a fine house that's told to build it. Because some people have felt when people are doing well, it means they did something wrong. No, sir. Some people work with their hands and God bless them. There's a pastor in Delta today doing very well. Some of you that have gone to Warri, you know him. They had to ask him, sir, people are saying the way you got your money was this. And when the man analyzed how he got money, everybody kept quiet. Some of you in this south, do you know that some people in the southwest, in those days when stock exchange was stock exchange, they made their money. Some of them even went to the bank to borrow money and bought those secondary shares. And within 2 weeks, they sold the shares and made a hell of money and invested that money in things. Rather us here, when we make small money, we want to eat it. We want to buy big cars. I've seen people, children of landowners, they come, they sell large hectares of their father's land. The week after, they've gone to buy a big car, forgetting that cars are not assets, they are liabilities. Wrong mentality. Is the Holy Ghost speaking to somebody here? Have you noticed that the church is one of the major establishments that is looking as if it's flourishing in Nigeria? And that's why you see they keep attacking pastors, forgetting that pastors have what they call right mentality. And they work with what NGOs call counterpart funding. Do you know that as you are now, if you want to start a business now, you'll be looking for huge capital to start a business. Am I communicating? But if you look at church, we are fragments of little character coming together. So when we bring our incomes together, we can achieve great things. And most churches today, they do what they call cooperatives. Is the Holy Ghost opening our hearts now? Even in your church, we have cooperative. We have cooperative farms where people invest their money. And when they sell those farm products, you collect part of the dividends. Right mentality can give you right results. Oh, I'm a lecturer. A young boy was talking with me one day. I said, you have been out from youth service for 3 months. What are you doing? He said, he has no job. I said, your father has farm. Start farming. Because by the time you put your brain, the book you have read, into farming, you will achieve more than your father. Somebody made me say, I said, what I eat, my momoeko, my green, my pumpkin, I planted it. Hope you know, I might not have money as a pastor. But if I don't have meat and I mix momoeko and pumpkin, hope you know, with granulated pepper, something will happen. And palm oil. A miracle. So if I arrange it with periwinkle and smoked pomo, hope you know, you only ask me, have you eaten? And I say yes. Will you ask me, what did you eat? Wrong mentality and views about riches can make a man poor. Some people have gotten mentality like, in Nigeria, with this economy, you can't make it. They can't make it. Hope you know, during COVID-19, people were establishing businesses. Some people made money from nose mask. People that have the right mentality, they are able to see avenues to make money from situations. In Proverbs chapter 21 verse 5, let me read Bible so that you don't think I got it from my head. He said, the thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteousness. It's his thoughts, not what he has done. You are going to school and they have told you in Unical, if you don't bribe, if you don't sleep with lecturer, you can't pass. And you are entering school with that mentality, friend, you will fail. If they tell you that, you must change the scenario. You must change the status quo and say, no, others may do it, I will not. And when you go with that different mentality, you discover that you will begin to get a different result. The same with making money. Oh, if you don't steal, if you don't collect bribe, you can't make money. Who told you? Some people built their lives a step at a time. I knew a woman in the West. All she was selling was akara. Did they call it akara here? Akara. And she started putting a slogan to akara. Raw share, raw share. Akara is akara. It's the same beans. But she kept a logo. Raw share, raw share. Before we knew it, boys were going to carry akara on bicycle to sell. The same akara everybody fries by the side of the road. Packaging made the difference. Some of you here, I've spoken with you online. You sew shoes, you make shoes, you sew clothes, you do this. But you are still selling the way my mother used to sell. Those days are gone. Thank God as I'm preaching now, my classmate in entrepreneurship development class is here. I went to school. So I said, Pastor, what are you doing in that kind of school? Information makes the face of a man white. Am I not selling something, preaching Bible? I'm an entrepreneur of the gospel. Are you with me today? I wrote exam, passed, did project. And I was still a pastor. Some of you sit down there. And I like to be sewing shirt too. Are you the only one that is sewing shirt? I used to have a pastor friend. He used to tell me, he said, we are saying everybody is going to heaven. I say, yes, sir. He said, so it means that church A and church B, we are leading everybody to heaven, supposedly. I said, yes. He said, so you need to ask a question. What will make somebody to go to church A and not go to church B? There must be something church A has that church B does not have. Right mentality might tell you to develop your strength rather than your weakness. There is a church we all grew up. Most of us know that church. They were sitting on benches and they still had large number. They were not playing drums or playing guitar like all of us. But the church church was still growing because they weren't bothered about what they didn't have or what they are not sent to do. They were bothered much about what they were sent to do, and they were faithful on what they were sent to do, and they got their result. Right mentality. Let me tell your neighbor, the right mentality. So the thoughts of the diligent can only tend to plenteousness. Number 2, laziness. When you are lazy, you can't achieve anything. Some people are comfortable begging than working hard. When I was growing up, I did all manner of jobs. A young boy used to bring vehicles from outside the country. So he was chatting with me one day. He said, they've closed the border in Seme. We are going towards Ogun State now. When I began to tell him about the way they drive cars in that area, he stopped and said, Pastor, how did you know? I said, boy, that village you will carry vehicle through, I used to use my head to go and carry fufu in that area. This man you are seeing, I've done all manner of jobs because I would rather die walking than beg. I noticed in that village, vehicles cannot enter the village to carry the fufu. So they will park on the highway. So if you use your head with a big pan, the number of fufu you can carry on that pan is the amount of money you make. So we go in to carry those fufu and put into the van, and they pay us for the van. And some of us, we come with the van from Lagos. So they will pay us for general service, and they will still pay me per fufu that I carry. You know the way they make fufu in the village? That fufu with water, tied with sack. That's what I'm talking about. So you see why I'm not that tall. Because you can't carry fufu and your height will be going up, you'll be going down. So he was shocked. He said, how did I know that? I started mentioning the villages. Those times I had to join vehicles to go and sell bottle in the boundary of Nigeria and Benin Republic. Because when we use crates of minerals here and we are hungry, we are tired, they will pack it and go and sell to them. So I follow those trucks. So we do the arranging and the offloading just to make money. When I became born again, I go to wash clothes for pastors. Then I was in a church that they use reverend. So when we finish washing clothes, that's where I learned how to iron suits, dry clean suits. Because the man of God, he was even the one that taught me or encouraged me to play instruments. Because the man played with one of the notable musicians in Nigeria. He taught me how to repair cassettes. How many of you know what they call cassettes? Those days are gone. We use CD now. So when you play cassette, you know sometimes the thing will enter the mouth and cut. It was the man, the elderly man that taught me how to repair it. Put 2 edges together, gum it from under, trim it out, it will still play. He said, I don't work as small. Should I tell you those days of jegule? Why? Because when you are lazy, you might not have the right help for your life. When you, even some people have said, hey, God call me, I'm a pastor. When you are lazy as a pastor, you can't achieve anything. Help don't come for lazy people. What do I mean? The right help. When you are hardworking and people see that you are inadequate, help comes for you. I've seen people do as, pastor, you work hard. We will help you. Awoof, they run belly. I think I need to preach that one. Help me tell your neighbor, awoof, they run belly. Say it like you mean it now. Okay, let's speak English. A wolf can cause running stomach. Which one is better? A wolf can cause running stomach. No. I think the earlier is better. A wolf, they run belly. Don't like free things too much. Some sisters have entered trouble because of free things. Free recharge card. Send me 2K. I'm in trouble now. Laziness. There is something to sell. What is in your house? Nothing but a jar of oil. Yes. Borrow vessels, not a few. There's an idea that you have not watered because you are lazy. Love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty. Open thine eyes that thou shalt be satisfied with bread. Proverbs chapter 20 verse 13. Proverbs 20:13. he becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich. Proverbs chapter 10 verse 4. Don't be lazy. I've seen students and I tell them, I said, look, read your book. To do exceedingly academically, you can't afford to be lazy. Say, Pastor, we don't even understand what they are teaching us. Read first. Work hard first. There will always be help. Proverbs chapter 12 verse 24. Proverbs 12:24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. If you are hardworking, you will rule. Because people will know that you are not in that class of general begging. And ideas that will take you to the next level, people will help you. Don't be lazy. The slothful man roasted not that which he took in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious. What does that mean? Two people went to hunt. They caught the animal. The other one said, let me roast this animal so that the thing can dry. But the lazy man will say, make I sleep small, baby. I don't catch the animal. We'll do the roasting later. The difference between great men and the poor men is that while the poor ones were sleeping, the rich ones were busy working. Don't be carried away. Some of the atrocities we see today is because people want quick money. When you want quick money, you will get it the wrong way. And that's not God's way. But when you are hardworking, it might come in trickles before it blows up. Because God will surely bless the labor of your hands. Is the Holy Ghost speaking to you today? Number 3, idleness. Somebody says, is there a difference between an idle person and a lazy person? Even though they are brothers, but they are different. An idle person might have an opportunity, but it's just... Proverbs chapter 12 verse 11, it will tell us very well. He said, he that tilleth his land, Proverbs 12:11, shall be satisfied with bread. But he that floweth vain persons is void of understanding. Idle people prefer gisting than working. Idle tailors are the one that will tell you, come on Tuesday, your work will be finished. And by Wednesday, am I looking for another trouble now? Auntie, what are you doing? I'm really sewing your clothes. They sew leg Monday. Join the second leg Tuesday. By Wednesday, they want to eat beans first. And they ended up sleeping after eating the beans. That's idleness. Idle people, their third brother is procrastination. I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. When we started vocational training school, it was on. Now, it has gone on sabbatical. Okay. They've answered me. Next year. Because a little here, a little there. Before you know it, you have learned something. How did I learn how to weld? I used to have a senior brother. He's late now. You know, in the ghetto, we have community senior brother. He will tell me, carry this machine and follow me. So I'll put that machine on my head, small me, and I'll follow him. Because I know something will drop. When I drop and he starts walking, he will tell me, go backward, oh. Don't let that fire enter your eye. Myself, inquisitive self, I will open my eye and see the way they are putting the electrode. That's how I learn the work. And when they go, say, they come, I want to go and buy something. You quickly hold the thing, put the broken electrode, touch your own. And you check. If the thing spark, say, yeah. Bros. That's how we learn those work. I used to have a carpenter senior brother. When he's going for carpentry work, he will take us. So I say, Pastor, how did you have time to learn all these things? That's how I learned. A little here, a little there. Bam! It has stayed. How do people don't take opportunities when they come? Because they are snoring when they should open their eyes. It's not every job you have certificate for. Some, by shining your eye. And when you go home, you improve on it. By the time they see you back, the person that taught you the work will be asking, how did you learn? I could remember when one of my friends was teaching me how to play the rhythm guitar. When we had the band, I was the president, and I told myself, they will always take me for granted if I cannot play instruments. So he taught me how to play the guitar. All he taught me was what we used to call 1-4-5. Do, fa, so. I know those people playing, they understand what I'm saying. But when I got to university, because The dofaso that I know, I didn't allow idleness to take it away. I got a box guitar just to be playing the dofaso. Then one elderly senior brother in the university, I still call him senior brother, he just looked at me. Come, I will help you. And because of that, he taught me augmented chords. He taught me all the different kind of hold bar methods. And I began to play the guitar. When I traveled home and I carried the guitar and I played in front of my teacher, he said, how did you know this one? And that same brother didn't only teach me guitar, he taught me how to play the keyboard. So by the time I landed on one holiday and they saw me on the keyboard, everybody respected President. Why? Because I didn't allow idleness to stop me. And because I was not lazy, help that I needed came my way. Till today, I've not had contact with that brother. How did I learn to play drum set? I was in the secondary school. We had a fine drum set, nobody to play. So one day we came to the assembly. They said, this drum set, is there nobody to play? Nobody. I just stood up in my mind, mentality. I said, since I can play local beats, I can use my mouth and interpret the local beats on the drums. I just went straight there. And you know, one-eyed man among blind people, you are a big man. As I just played the nonsense I played, everybody shouted, ah, you can play, you can play. Yes, I can play. If I tell you what I played that day, all these boys will pursue me. I just took the stick. Since I know the beats, I was just using the leg with the beat. I was just playing the snare drum. Bridge. I became Superman overnight. Tell your neighbor, don't be high too. Nobody is paid for old age. If not, Methuselah would have been the richest. No knowledge is lost. Every day invest. The sign for somebody that will go far is the ability to feed his mind. Books. Feed your mind. As a student, inside your church bag, there must be Bible, there must be book. Some of you now, as I'm preaching now, you are writing nothing down. You see why you are where you are. Life will only honor people differently because of what they have done with their time. Every day must count. Number 4, procrastination. I've talked about that. Number 5, feeling entitled. Some people are poor because they claim they are right always. They feel they don't need to do anything. It will just fall into their palms. Nothing just happens, sir. Why did my father give birth to? Why did he give birth to me? If he knew he would not take care of me. Continue. That father will soon die. Your eye will be clear. Are there no children they give birth to and they put inside dustbin? And they live their lives. Friends, one of the things my late father used to thank God for my life for, I didn't know when I learned this from a young age. I just had this mentality as a small child that this man, even if he refuses to take care of me, I will take care of myself. So from a young age, I grew up. I learned wood lamination. I barb hair myself. Because then we used to use comb and blade to barb, to make money. I just knew that I can't live my life having to depend on my parents as a young boy. I didn't know where that heart came. It was later in his life, he was telling his friend, he said, this my son, he never disturbed me. He bought everything he needed for university himself. But I didn't know then. I just felt there was something inside of me that kept making me feel, I should not depend on these people. I should not depend on. So I had to walk. Sometimes I had to walk from Ajegunle, those of you that know Lagos, to Bariga, Palm Grove. Sometimes you climb more because in those days when we were growing up, if you sit down, you pay higher than those standing. So we prefer standing. And you know when you are short, your hand will not get to the pole. So conductor can look at, small boy, can't they lap you? We don't get money now. Yeah, don't worry. You find favor. Conductors are not bad people. You know, I'm a retired conductor. Some of them are nice. When they see you, small boy, even you see some people that are elderly, say, come and sit down. When Nigeria used to be Nigeria, good and sanctified. Some people now you go and sit down, you just disappear. Do not say I say it. Oh, is that one recorded? Chai. But in those days when Nigeria used to be Nigeria, you see parents that are parents inside vehicle. Where are you going to? They said I should, let me read. Okay. Driver is stopping at so and so point. But nowadays, when you feel entitled, look, nobody holds you nothing. Can you help me preach that one? Please say it, tell your neighbor, nobody holds you anything. Say it now, say it. Nobody holds you nothing. Even your father does not hold you. I was counseling a young girl. I say your father that is your father was abused. So you are a generation of abused people. What are you saying? Somebody that his father can even tell, you are stupid, you will not be successful. And the man tried to be successful. You now come and say, it's affecting my emotion. Do black men have feelings? When they give you, we only have reset button, like slap. You are hurting my feeling. Nobody holds you anything. Hope you know, you are going to school for yourself. If your parents refuse to pay your school fees, you can call them any name you want to call them. It doesn't change who they are. So wake up. The secret of poverty is entitlement. Because that affects your attitude. So even when help comes, you will waste the help. Because you feel it's your right. I have first class, so I should get the best of job. Who told you? First class, they are trekking in Lagos, no job. Number 6. Blaming others except yourself. Some people, the reason why they are poor is because they keep blaming everything. They blame their background. They blame their father. Say, if my father had been rich, I would not be this poor. They will blame their mother. They will blame their uncle. And my uncle is rich. He refused to help me. That's why I'm struggling. Brethren, I learned that from a young age. I remember, I pray my brother is not watching this one. We used to have somebody that was very rich. And my brother got angry one day. He said, even if she's passing and she's driving a car, I would rather trek than enter car. I said, bros, don't talk like that too. God will bless us. Their children will beg us for money. We will take care of them. So don't come and use mouth and put yourself in a cage. Say, I would rather trek than enter free motor. Is that wisdom? I'm just asking. I will enter the motor, I will still make my money and buy my own and carry their children. And he listened to me. And those prophecies are coming to pass. Don't blame others. Begin to see that where you are now, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. God has an agenda for your life. That's why he didn't allow you to pass through the normal route. You might even be in the same family with somebody, the same father, the same mother, but it's as if they have preferential treatment. Don't get worked up. That's not your path. Don't feel abused. Don't feel maltreated. Begin to think that that person was meant to be pampered and you were being taught to be tough. Yes, we explain. Those children that were pampered, by the 10 years, 15 years after, you discover that you already become tough. Your brain is working. Their own. They will need people to be telling them what to do. Say, Daddy, I want to walk. Oh, I'm thinking, which walk should I walk? Some of you, they help you fill your jam form. Some of us, we are the one that walk to buy the jam form and the GC form. So who help you to fill what you walk to buy? We are the ones that went to check. I don't have English, I don't have maths. Is there any university in Nigeria that don't need English and maths so that we can just enter for one course? But some of you are saying, don't worry. I want you to read medicine. And you have done medicine jam 10 times. Medicine has not come. You didn't know by experience that you should go and read another thing. Oh, you are waiting for medicine. Keep waiting. Whereas you can do pharmacology, anatomy. When you graduate first degree now, you are more experienced. You now come with direct entry to enter medicine and you still read your dream. Your mates don't pass you. By the time you now finish the medicine, you're already 35 years. So they are saying, we are looking for fresh graduate, 24, 25. Age don't jones you. And you are saying, this Nigeria is bad. This Nigeria, you didn't use the opportunity well. No, you didn't. Oh, you thought it was chemistry I wanted to read. I wanted to be a pharmacist. When jam me, boah, my brain reset. Say, son, now you go buy the jam, now you go buy the GC. Can you afford to work and buy another one? Just open the book. Which one? Near the near. Though it was God that was helping me to near the near. By the time I was nearly finishing chemistry, I announced God that thank God I'm not a pharmacist. Drug I don't like. So what kind of pharmacist will I be now? Quack. Because what I'm even struggling for is what I've never checked my system to know whether I love it or not. Some of us, because you know, those of us from the West, there are courses that when you read, it's as if you didn't go to school. That was our problem. In my place, when I say, what are you reading? Law. Oh, the law. Do you know how many lawyers are charged and bail? People like me that when you, my mother didn't go to university, but when you mention some courses, you say, imagine you tell my mother you read, let me not mention the course. She said, you are going to school to learn buying and selling. She didn't go to university. So imagine you are from my family. If God has even told you read that course, he will change it. Say, which course are you reading? Hippopotamus. Oh my God, that's a good course. You know, the bigger the English. That's why I like this school. When others are calling policy study or political science, you hear policy and public and this long English. See? Which course are you reading? Geography. Here, you hear geography and regional. So that the more you go outside, the more you impress people with degree. Bros, don't deceive yourself. It's just English. Is the Lord speaking to somebody here? There is a generation that cursed their father. Proverbs chapter 30 verse 11 to 13. And does not bless their mother. Proverbs 30, 11 to 13. There's a generation that are pure in their eyes and yet is not washed from their filthiness. There is a generation. Oh, how lofty are their eyes and their eyelids are lifted up. Let me end with this. I have, if the Lord tarries, we'll look further. Waste. The secret of poverty is waste. A lot of us, we are wasteful. We buy big phones that we don't use. We buy shoes that we don't wear. We buy clothes that are not important to us. I used to teach my children their hair. I said, I don't buy Vogues because Vogue will go away. Some of the designs you are sewing now, some of you will not be able to wear it after 1 month because it has moved. And one thing about fashion is that it's like a cycle. It keeps moving. It keeps moving. There was a time the women wear bell bottom, Abi. But hope you know, that bell bottom, my mother wore it as bongo. They wore it as keep Lagos clean. It's still the same thing, they are just changing English. Bongo, bell bottom, keep Lagos clean, everything. Do you know that your trouser that you put the lapel in front, you put lapel by the side? My mother wore it too. This your Akbola shoe. I know the shoes have started becoming smaller back. Mommy, Abi, didn't you wear it for boogie dance? Oh, you didn't know that they do boogie dance? Kai. There was boogie dance in those days. Cool at the gun. With big suits. Before the suit was big, later it became small. We are back to the small suits now. Am I right? There was a time we used to wear lapel. We call it French suit. We got angry and started wearing British suit. Later we are back to the French suit again and we call it another name. It started with one cut at the back. Now it is 2 cuts. It's the same suit. They are just changing color. Waste. If I ask some of you now, the phones in your hand, 128 gig, 8 gig memory space, what are you using it for? Selfie, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. Rubbish. 10 gig can do for you to make money. Even myself as a pastor, check my Facebook page. The information pastorally, I release it there. Because I'm also doing spiritual business. Why do you think I'm interested in Instagram? Oh, to show clothes? No, sir. Fresh oil on Wednesday is on Instagram. As I'm preaching first service, it's on MixLR. You think I have money to waste? That's why I'm just saying. No. Somebody somewhere needs to hear the gospel, sir. And for them to hear, those platforms must carry it. I have to collect apps that can cut, that can edit. Why? Because somebody must hear it. So now, put that energy into your sewing business. Put one mannequin, be changing, snap, send. put online. Before you know, you enter opera, you enter this. And the beauty about money is volume. Somebody is not getting me here. If you Google your name, check the volume. Google my own, check the volume. Some of you laughed. Because I think we should close. Nations want to hear your voice. Don't be wasteful. It's not every clothes you should wear. You don't need it. Keep it. Some clothes are fine, but they will not last long. So what do you need it for? You are a student. You are struggling with bag with somebody that asks money to buy another one next month. Go and buy tutumpon. Hey, you remember that bag they call tutumpon? General use. It can serve as traveling bag. It can serve as school bag. It can go for fashion bag. One bag can do multiple things. But you go and struggle and be buying small purse. You can't use that one for school. You go and buy color that will be selecting cloth. When there's black, there's brown, there's red, or weather. If red no work, black must work. If black does not work, brown must work. But you're buying pink, indigo, white. It's waste. Wait till you get, as good as those things are, wait till you get to that level in life. You cannot achieve what somebody has achieved in 15 years in one day. They built up to get there. There are airs you can buy and wash and wear. Wash and wear. Air. Wash and wear. And there are some you buy before you know it, it don't come out. I'll round up with this story. I have brothers when we were growing up, we had different mentality. Until today, I used to respect them. When I go to buy all these bend-down boutique shirts, maybe I can buy 10. I have brothers that they can use the money I used to buy 10 and buy 1 or buy 2. I used to tell them, how can you be wearing one clothes? They say, look, when we buy this one, it will last very long. And we'll use it. Say, but you are buying 10. But they didn't know that I had my plans too. That I don't buy fake 10. I buy good 10. But why did I say I used to like them? Their philosophy is, if you want to get something, get it when you need it and get the best. So that you don't need to buy again. So they taught me a lesson not to waste. Because if you buy something that is of less importance, when the real one comes, it becomes a waste. But if you are patient to wait till the good one comes, it stays longer in your hand. And you avoid waste. And with that, you are kicking poverty out of your life. Are you blessed? Let's bow our hearts as we talk to the Lord.